And then you see guys at risk, and you go, "Fuck, man!" And those guys are all making $1 million just telling jokes, you know. And so I don't know. I really like those aspects of it, and I'm going to try to do that. But if you can help me, I would like that. Lee.
I wish I could. If I could help you, I probably wouldn't be here. But it was like you're great in all the movies that you're in. But do you think it would be different?
Nice of you to say.
Do you think it'd be different? Do you think it'd be harder if like you had just maybe got not a starring role, but like a bigger role in a movie, and you had no experience?
Like, I think it would be worse.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think
that's it's like that thing that they say, God gives you only what you can handle or something like that. Like there's all these sayings that are kind of like that, and I think it's like that. I think Eddie taught me a lot about like being on a vibe with the universe in a way, and I think about that a lot, and I meditate on that kind of stuff, and I try to elevate. Somebody said, "Well, what's your mission statement? You do all this different shit. You got, you're getting money 6 different ways or whatever." And I said, "Well, I want to elevate myself to be the best representation of TAIT FLETCHER that I can be, so I can be the most useful to the people, like my family, friends, and community around me, wherever I am. And especially now more than ever, with so much darkness in the external world, that I want the parts that I can make better. I want to be able to do that." And so anyway, that's kind of, I don't know. I think also doing stand up, you watch it save people's lives, a lot of people. And
have you done it yet?
No, motherfucker.
I'm sorry.
Nervous as shit about it.
Really?
Yeah. Bobby Lee says, "I'll have you up the improv for 5 minutes and get ready in a month or whatever." And I was like, fuck.
I was hanging out with you guys for a long time, and you talk about jiu-jitsu, and it used to drive me crazy. Those road trips with 6 people in a van, I wanted to shoot myself. And I liked you with all my heart, and I liked when Duncan was there, but Red Band at that time was still under the impression, the one that I gave him blow and he ratted me out. I mean, it was just a world that I had never been involved in.
Yeah.
But you guys kept talking about jiu-jitsu, and I would go to Eddie's and watch, and I would go, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that." And then I started watching it, and I became a fan of watching just regular jiu-jitsu online. Marcelo Garcia, Lucas Leitchis. Like, I would just watch this shit. Not when I was coked out, when I was smoking weed after that, years later. And it took me 2 years to actually walk into a jiu-jitsu school. It took me 2 years to break down how I was going to do this without nobody finding out if I failed. Okay, that was the plan. How I could do jiu-jitsu without it getting back to Eddie or any of my friends that I even went in there, just in case I don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
It's weird how that's like a thing.
What a fucking shame it was for me to go down there. And I probably went down there for 3 months before I ever said anything to anybody.
Yeah.
And then I told Eddie, and he was kind of weird. He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "I've been going over there to ski." And I talked to Matt Serra, and he goes, "The first 90 days you want to be in the gi." I was completely lost, When I got out of the prison in Colorado, I could lie to you and tell you, no, my mind was on how I was going to do the next line. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But 3% in that, I was curious about stand-up. I was curious about going back to school and finishing up my 9 credits and getting a degree. I had a job already, but something that was lurking inside of me. So I got released in February of 89, okay? February of 89. Anybody got a pen?
Here.
February of 89, and this is why I do this. So just to show tape. I got out of jail in February of 89. In January of 90, I thought about it. And I scratched it off. And then in January of 91, it was snowing, so I had to stay home. And the movie Punchline came on with Tom Hanks and Sally Fields.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that?
Yeah.
And that sent me into a tizzy. And I actually called the Comedy Works, and they said, "Come on down on a Tuesday." And that took another month or 2.
What did you say? Like, I want to be a comic.
I'd like to know if you have an open mic. And they said, "Yeah, we have one every Tuesday night. Just call the Tuesday before, and we'll put you on the list for the following week."
That's a hard phone call to make.
And you get 3 minutes. Okay. But from that phone call of January of 91, do you think I actually went down there?
No.
No.
Takes
Why
a long
would I?
time, yeah.
Why would I? But then one day I went to get breakfast. And in April of 91, I saw an ad, a whole section. Roseanne had just busted out of Denver. She had just broken up. Denver comedy was booming. Nobody knew where to go. There was only 4 clubs in the whole state. And they did an article, like in the Rocky Mountain News, in the middle. Like I walked into a diner and did this just to see the sports section. And it landed right in the middle. And it was, do you want to be a stand-up comic? And it had how to become, and it had a course for $31 at the University of Colorado. And it started like a week later.
Did you go?
Fuck yeah. For $33, fuck yeah, I
Holy
went.
fuck, Joey. What'd they show you?
Just 3 weeks. 3 weeks of...
And they say, right, here's, pick an idea that pops in your head, pick things
like
around it.
That's funny to you. But my point being that after that, the guy said, because the final class, you had to do 3 minutes on stage.
Right.
And as I was walking out, the guy goes, come here for a second. He goes, you should try this. You should really maybe try it. You had something up there.
And you're like 30 years old, 35 years old.
31, 32.
Yeah.
I'm an estimator for a roofing company. Really unhappy marriage.
That's where you meet Rick Kearns?
About a month later.
Huh?
Really unhappy marriage, really undecisive, snorting here and there, hidden. By this time, it's better to want than to have. My mother had died, and I always craved an American family. And I finally meet a white chick, and they have a family. And I like going up there, and they sat like white people and had dinners, and they prayed. And it was shocking to me, you know, this education. He was a retired colonel, lieutenant colonel from the Air Force. And I don't know. It was better to want than to have at that point. And I acted like an asshole, and we just broke up one day. But finally, June, it's either 18th or 21st is when I went on stage. So it basically took me 2.5
memory fucking
years.
blows me away.
So it took me
June either 18th or 21st, talking about 1991.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we could do this shit
Motherfucker.
forever. So, you know, I want to explain that to you. That fear is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then if we go back to Monday's podcast, it's not really fear, it's called resistance.
Right.
It's called resistance. For years, I was trying to write a book. I'd pop up to the book, Lit Lift. But I also have Twitter, Facebook, you know, and then all of a sudden you're on Twitter and somebody sends you a picture of their pussy and you need to jerk off first before you write. Then you need to smoke. Then you need to get some nicotine
Might
gum.
need a sandwich.
And then, you know what? Let me call TAIT now and see what he's doing next month for lunch. It's resistance. It's the same thing. But with your case, this is a realm that you've been around for over 10 years. So I think it should just be comfortable to you. I think that you should go to a bar open mic, and I think you should open up your calendar tomorrow and maybe go to Flappers and not say nothing to nobody. Or
definitely not. Everybody's like, well, I want to be there when I go, the fuck that's going to happen.
I just want you to do it. Do it for yourself.